Welcome back to Brandon's Animal Expeditions. Today, my adventures take me to Homosassa, Florida, and I'm in a kayak right now. I'm about to paddle up to Homosassa Springs in hopes of seeing some manatees. We'll see if I see any alligators or other wildlife along the way. This area of Florida, not something you would necessarily expect from Florida, but in this area, black bears do exist, so might see one along the edge of the river, but we'll see. But I'm about to paddle out that way and see what we can find. I rented this kayak from a local outfitter, and it's only about a 20-minute paddle to get to where the springs are, where the manatees should be at this time of year. But they also come out of the springs into this area as well, so we'll see what we find along the way. I just heard one breathe up ahead. It looked like it's heading this direction, so I stopped paddling for a moment and we'll see if it comes this way. And here it is, our first manatee! Wow, it's humongous, and the water is sort of clear, so you can see the whole shape of the manatee going by right now. But not the clearest water here. It's quickly camouflaging in with its surroundings as it follows the current out towards sea right now. But I'm going to turn and head back towards where the springs are, and we'll see if we can see some more in some clear water. Now let's head underwater into their environment. Seeing these amazing creatures in their environment underneath the water is simply stunning. The water's still not super clear, but you can at least see the manatee's full body as it swims by my kayak off into the distance. This manatee was curious, and he even came by for a second pass just to check me out a little bit. I said he, but not totally sure if it's a boy or girl. With manatees, it's really hard to tell from the outside of their body. There's no distinguishing characteristics between males and females, just seeing them like this. But here you can see this manatee using its front flipper to help steer him through the water. These gentle giants aren't going anywhere in a hurry. Because of their large size, they move pretty slowly in the water. Now you might think because they aren't aggressive animals and move pretty slowly that they would be easy prey for alligators or sharks, but manatees actually don't have to worry about those animals. In fact, they have no natural predators. The biggest threat to manatees is actually from human boats. Now, manatees are mammals, and that means that they come to the surface to breathe. Unfortunately, a lot of manatees are struck by boat engines as they spend so much time close to the surface of the water, and because they can't get away super quickly. The reason these manatees like to hang out near the springs in Florida is because in the wintertime, the ocean gets pretty frigid, and being warm-blooded animals, manatees like to spend time in temperatures above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So that being said, all the springs in Florida average about 70 degrees year-round. So manatees will come up the canals from the ocean into the springs to be in the warmer waters while the ocean temperature drops. Because of their skin, manatees are able to survive in both fresh, brackish, and ocean water, so it makes it easy for them to go between the ocean and coming into the freshwater springs here in Florida. And Florida manatees will almost always be spotted along coastal areas or in these inlets, lagoons, coves, or the springs. They don't hardly ever venture out into the deep ocean waters. Florida manatees have an average length of about 10 feet long, and their average weight is approximately 1,000 pounds as well. That being said, the largest manatee in Florida ever recorded was over 3,000 pounds. Not only do manatees have those front flippers, but they also have a large paddle tail. Now, that tail will help propel them through the water, while they use those front flippers to help guide them and steer through the water. Or if they're stationary in the water and just want to turn, all they need to do is use those front flippers to move through the water, as you can see this one doing right here. And it looks like we have two manatees coming to join us this way. And then as soon as they come over, we will take a look as they swim right by the kayak. Paddled as far as I could, but from this point on, no kayakers or swimmers are allowed into where the springs are, and that's because during the winter time, this is the haven for the manatees, so they don't want anyone in the actual springs disturbing where the manatees congregate during this time of the year. It just gives them a haven for them to go to without any disturbances. Manatees are very social and inquisitive animals, and so you can see as this manatee is coming up to get a good look at me and check me out. Furthermore, manatees have excellent eyesight underwater, being able to see things in even murky waters. So right now I'm with a mom and her baby. Now, this is the mom that just paddled off. But right here, believe it or not, is her baby. And I'm not sure how old this manatee is, but definitely a lot smaller in size. So let's take a look underwater. And this manatee definitely seems to be very interested in me. Now, another characteristic of being a mammal is that they have hair. And you can see the little hairs or bristle-like features along this manatee's body, especially around its nose as well. And I'm trying to keep my camera very still as to not scare this manatee off. Just let him take a look at me and be as inquisitive as he wants to be. Now here you can see this mom and baby, and you can see that the mom is definitely a lot larger in size when compared side by side. And again, they are going nowhere in a hurry, and they don't seem to be fazed at all by me and my kayak hovering right above them. Now, if you ever visit Florida, you are likely to see a manatee near docks or a marina, And that's because manatees are mainly herbivores, and so they are constantly in search of different food sources, such as the algae or plants that grow on or near the pilings in the ocean. Furthermore, they spend almost all of their day either eating or sleeping. Now, you'll often find manatees eating seagrass or any vegetation grown in the ocean. I say mainly herbivores because that consists of most of their diet. However, manatees have also been seen eating either clams or small fish as well. This mom and baby spent quite a while around me, and I got some great footage, so I'll just let you sit back, relax, and enjoy this footage set to some music. Now, because these manatees are slow moving, they tend to get algae on their back. So if you look closely, that brownish, darkish color is going to be algae that is starting to grow on their backs. And some manatees will even have barnacles growing on their backs as well. Now you might be wondering what a barnacle is, and it's those white things that you can see on this manatee's back. Now, barnacles are actually animals in themselves, so you can see there are a lot of animals growing on this manatee's back. Now, barnacles are similar to crabs or lobsters in that they have a shell, and they're in the same family as well. But barnacles are filter feeders, so by living on the manatee's back, this gives barnacles a place to live and plenty of access to food as the manatee swims through the water. Well, I would say that was a very successful day. Got to see tons of manatees up close and personal. Them coming like right up to the kayak like that was, and swimming right underneath was truly amazing. Definitely highly recommend coming and checking it out. But thanks for tuning in to Brandon's Animal Expeditions, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.